Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who has decided to watch this video. Today, I'm going to be quickly rambling on about another Marvel Legends figure, something I don't do too much, but I still do from time to time just because Marvel Legends is a line I still sometimes get figures from. I might not be getting too many that often, not my favorite line to collect, but when they make characters I really like, I gotta get them. And who's a character I really like? Venom, specifically the Flash Thompson iteration of Venom, my favorite version of the character, Agent Venom, as he is known as, a very fun, unique take on the Venom concept, and in my opinion, the most well done. And yeah, this figure, I really like this figure. There was a Agent Venom done previously in Marvel Legends, and from what I've heard, because I've never messed with that figure, because that was long before I ever got Legends, apparently it's not that good. Like, apparently it's very bulky and restricts a lot of its articulation. And in my opinion, it just looks wrong. I know there's a couple of runs, because it has different proportions from this one. There's a couple of artists in comics that did depict him in a way similar to what that old figure was emulating. But for the most part, he looked more sleek and slim like he does on this figure, because that one was a bit more wide in the chest, a bit more unrealistic in its chest proportions and arm proportions, and the spikes were a bit bigger, a bit more sharp, a bit more crazy, whereas here they're a lot more small and blunt, and this is more true to how he is in comics. I've read way more comics with him looking like this figure than he does the old figure, so this definitely does fit the look I think of when I think Agent Venom way more than that old figure did. But one thing I did like about that old figure that it would have been cool to see emulated here is the old one had one of those old Marvel Legends portholes in the back, so that it could have tendrils coming out of it that could hold extra guns, and that would have been fun. But admittedly, I don't need it for an Agent Venom myself. Like, even though Agent Venom would sometimes do the explosions of symbiote goo to do crazy stunts, I mostly do just think of him as looking like this, just wearing the symbiote like an armor and holding the guns in his hands. And that's what this figure does. It's all it really needed to do to be a good figure, and it does it well. And I really like this figure. Now, he has all the typical Marvel Legends articulation, and it all moves pretty well. Like, look at that lean in the torso. Ball joint, definitely something the old figure could not do, from what I have heard. His torso moves very, very well. It's using a ball joint in the torso, like how I think all torsos should be articulated down with ab crunches. Superiority for the ball joints in the abdomen. This is how torso articulation should be done if you are going to do it, in my opinion. And it can also rotate here. I was going to see if it had a separate waist swivel, but no, it does not. And the arms, pretty simple rotations in and out. The shoulder pads move very nicely with them. Double jointed elbows move just fine. I believe his hands, because he's using the gun holding hands, are both up and down on their hinges. Yes, they are. The knees, I do got a little bit of that Marvel Legends tightness in his knees. Kind of just 6-inch figure tightness. But, you know, I can get them to bend fine. This one's a little bit more tight, but I can get it. It's definitely not the worst I've had a figure for the gumminess. And he's just got ankle rockers, and these admittedly are still a little hindered by the boot cuffs. But he can get ankle movement out there. I can get him into other positions. He does everything I need him to do, at least. And yeah, so I'm really happy about that. And the paint's done really well. It's obviously just putting in the white spots, but like there's no scuff or anything on it. Nothing looks wrong here. And I like the details of his belt too. And there's also the little bit silver in there for his belt buckle, so I guess that means that's a real belt, which makes sense. That his military straps would be real military gear over the symbiote. but I've always kind of thought of everything on the Agent Venom look being the Venom goo, but apparently not. And for swappable parts, you can take off the Venom head and have a good old Flash Thompson head. He actually comes packaged with this head on, and it's a good inclusion. I understand why it's here. I don't think I'm ever really going to use it. I don't know. He looks fine. He looks pretty good this way, but that's just not how I want to display my Agent Venom. I want him looking all Venom-like. I want him looking cool as heck. And alternate hands. He's got the fisties for the punching, and the Venom claws for scraping and slashing and climbing up walls. I definitely like these more than the fists, but you know me, I've talked about it before. Swappable hands, I don't need them. I just need weapon-holding hands, because I like my toys being toys. I like to have fun. And I only buy Marvel Legends because of the character variety, even though Marvel Legends are just an amazing toy line in general. If I could get this character variety from a cheaper, kid-friendlier, play-focused Marvel toy line, I'd drop Legends in a heartbeat. But anyway, he's got weapon-holding hands. What weapons does he have to hold? Well, as you can see, there is a pistol here on his hip, so he can slot that into his hand just fine. Just gotta work that in, just trying to get the finger in the trigger. There we go. Just gotta fill with that a bit, and he's got his little pistol, so he can take that and go shooty shooty blam blam, shooty shooty blam blam. And because he's got the double joints, he can do one of my favorite poses on highly articulated figures of pulling the pistol out of the holster. I love when highly articulated figures can do that. That is a bonus to these kinds of toys. Very nice. So yeah, he's got this one. And then he also comes with this rifle that is admittedly a little warped on the front of mine. Whatever. And both of the guns are pretty sci-fi looking. I don't know if these are reused from anything on a previous figures in Legends. Probably are. I wouldn't be surprised if that like shield free pack came with these, but no figure I have has used these. These also might just be Nerf guns, because I know that has happened before with Legends, and you know, people decry that stuff. I think it's fun little Easter eggs for Hasbro to include their Nerf guns with characters as accessories. And you know what, it's the Marvel Universe. People use sci-fi guns all the time. Nerf guns look pretty sci-fi-ish. It works. It works. And I get it. We just live in a world where you don't want every character coming with realistic guns, even when they're gun-wielding. At least it's not like DC, where there's a mandate not to have any action figure come with guns. Unless it's like a cold gun or a Heatwave with his fire blaster, which is so funny because DC is obsessed with being like, we're totally the dark and edgy comic book company. We're more real than Marvel, even though the reason Marvel was ever able to compete with us after all our years of success was because of how more real they are. No, we are. We're the dark ones. Look at all of our new characters that have guns and are so edgy. And yet DC won't give any of those characters guns in the toy lines. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. But yeah, so he's got the rifle, and this is a pretty good rifle. And again, speaking about how much better the movement is on this figure than the old one, is he can get into a good pose of actually looking through the scope on this thing. You can have him put it right up to his head. I'm just doing it very quickly here, so it's not looking as good as it could. There we go. And yeah, obviously for this, if you want it to look as good as you, if you want it to look really good, you would swap the hands out for like this one, since this one can actually like grip onto the bottom of the gun a lot better than the trigger finger hand. As you can see here, kind of, I'm just pushing everything around, but like you can get him looking into the scope, and that is pretty nice. nice. I'm really glad he can do that pose, because I've tried that pose with a lot of figures before and have never been able to do it. So it's really cool that he can do it just so easily. And yeah, admittedly, the figure is simple. There's not much going on, but he's so much fun. And it was definitely the best figure of that whole retro carded wave he was released in. At least I think. I only got free figures from that wave, and the reason the other two figures I got, Kane and Lady Electro, are not in this video and we're not doing a free for one is because for some reason Agent Venom got delayed, and I just didn't feel like doing a video about the other two back when I got them. And I probably should have pulled them out for a size comparison in this video, huh? Oh well, I'm not. Instead, for size comparisons, we're going to bring in his sidekick, Mania. Here she is. Also a very fun figure, a very weird figure, though, but I think she's kind of well done. I like the purple on her. That's pretty cool. I feel like she should maybe be a little bit smaller for proper scale, but she still looks pretty good next to Flash right here. The two of them look really nice together. And the figure she came packed with, which was Flash in his Space Knight Venom guise, which I don't care as much for this version of Flash's Venom as the Agent Venom, but I still enjoy Space Knight. I think it's a fun design. I remember this figure getting so much hate when it was first released as a Build-A-Figure, but I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it looks cool. I think it's a fun figure, too. Now that I finally have it. Well, I'm saying that like I just got this. No, I got it when the 2-pack with Mania was released. I think it's a fun figure, and it came with these gooey effects for Slash and stuff. I actually want to see if these could fit on Agent Venom pretty quickly. They probably won't, since his arms are a lot smaller. But let's see. Yeah, nah. And if that one can't fit, then this one probably won't, because this one's heavy. This one even pulls down this guy's arms sometimes. So, yeah, not really. But yeah, Flash Thompson Venom where he started, Flash Thompson Venom where he ended. Let's just get this back in his hand. And for one more comparison, because we have to do it, I guess, Spider-Man. Spider-Man and his biggest fan. And, is Spidey taller, or do I just have Flash's legs splayed out a little bit too much? Straighten up the legs for Flash. Straighten them up for Spidey as well. And, no, Spidey is still a little bit taller. Okay, Spidey is taller. And, yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. This Flash figure is pretty basic, but I really like it. Legends, a lot of my favorite Legends appear to be Legends coming out this year, because I loved those Brave New World figures, and I love this figure a lot, too. So, that's pretty nice to see. I'm glad to see that I'm getting my favorite characters, and I'm getting them done well, and I'm sure we'll get the repaints for this guy, Agent Anti-Venom, and the Toxin one. I don't like the Toxin one. I think the Toxin one is weird. Why did they do that to Toxin? Anti-Venom, Agent Anti-Venom, I get it. I mean, it keeps the Agent Venom concept around. Well, having to make Eddie Brock be traditional Venom again, because tie-ins to those movies. Everybody likes the Venom movies, don't they? There'll never be a better Venom than this. And the point is, we got a good figure of him. I like this figure. I like it a lot. So, I think I've rambled on enough here. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.
Hello everyone, it's the Merc with the Mouth Deadpool telling y'all to subscribe to the channel for all the fun videos it's got. What, you want to hear me do a catchphrase? Chimichangas, chimichangas. You know, I don't actually like chimichangas as food, I just like saying the word. What am I doing here again? Oh yeah, subscribe!